scab for the bosses. Don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize.
I'm gonna murder Obama.
Which side are you on?
Yeah, we're remarks.
Allegedly. Parody.
Yeah, you're parodying murdering
the murder of Obama.
Yeah.
That's
that's how it is. I feel you.
It's totally fine, and nobody can press legal charges against me for saying that because it is a parody, and it's just a joke. And so you cannot sue me now.
True. Honestly, if you were going to sue her before that, then you're kind of a fucking dork, dude.
True. I mean, yeah, like, relax, baby. It's not that big of a deal.
Chill. Yeah.
Chill out.
For sure.
Well, hi, I'm Phoebe.
I am Taylor.
This is our podcast, Remarks. And guess what, guys? We are back. We're finally working at full capacity. We're not sleep deprived. We're not hungover. We're back and better than ever.
True. And I feel like this whole month's been kind of wild with all of the vacays that everyone has been taking. But we're back. We're vibing.
Yeah.
More than anything.
True.
And we're going to talk about some cults.
Yeah. It was Taylor's birthday last week. I won't say what day so he doesn't get doxxed. But Taylor, I have a little pod gift for you.
Oh, you did it on the pod?
On air.
Whoa. Okay, let's see what it is. I think I know what it is, but I'm gonna pretend I don't. The knot.
Oh no, did I tie it too hard?
No, I think I'm just bad at unwrapping things.
It's wrapped in a 7-Eleven bag.
True. Oh my goodness, it's a cucumber lime Gatorade. The best of all the Gatorades.
I mean, I don't support your lifestyle choices, but I accept them.
I see. Classic evangelical Christian vibes there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. You're too kind. I'm glad that, this kind of feels like an endorsement, but...
From me?
Yeah, from you to my side.
A little.
Minor endorsement, for sure.
Yes. I'm still fairly anti-cucumber lime Gatorade.
Oh, well, that was very nice of you to stoop to that level.
I do it for you.
How was your research this week?
Oh, my fucking God. I was literally losing my mind, like, every turn of... like corner I would make of this research, I was like, literally I was sitting at my kitchen table like with my hands in my head and I was like, bro, like you've got to be fucking kidding me. There's just, oh my God, it's insane. Literally every avenue of this is pure insanity. Like it never...
Ludicrous.
Luda.
I don't know if we've done that joke on the pod, but we'll make it a pod thing.
Just got luded on the pod.
Got luded. Yeah, no, and that's, it's just it's insane. Yeah,
Fully.
We didn't we weren't planning on doing 2 episodes, but we have to, or it's gonna be like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
So
and there was just no way to sum up like any of this within a single episode. It's still not even. Obviously, as we've said multiple times, like our research is, it's kind of surface level. We do what we can. We're not like a professional cult researchers, so but like even that I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, no, for sure. If y'all want to get your friends to listen to the podcast, we'll have more time to research when we quit our jobs.
Exactly. And we could do like 4-part episodes on a single subject.
But as we stand now, we do not have the time for that.
That's true. We're busy people. Well, should I jump into it?
I think it's about time.
Okay. Well, Taylor, have you ever driven down South Temple, perhaps near the Trader Joe's or up by the Salt Lake Cemetery?
I'm familiar with that area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you have, you might have noticed the Salt Lake chapter of the Church of Scientology.
Oh, my goodness.
Yet another cult in Utah using the word church for tax evasion and to avoid investigation.
Truly.
So the cult that I'm talking about today is the Church of Scientology. Scientology has erected many churches in many major cities and is still very much going strong to this day, despite the many, 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 many atrocities they have committed.
Amazing slip in of the word erected in there. Nice.
Nice. So let's get into it. Leading with a quote from Scientology.org, which I was literally so like sketched out when I went on their website. I was like, they're gonna fucking find me. Oh my god.
You start getting like targeted Scientology ads.
I'm so scared I'm going to. Fuck. Under the tab, What is Scientology, Beliefs and Practices, they say, quote, Scientology is a religion that offers a precise path leading to a complete and certain understanding of one's true spiritual nature and one's relationship to self, family, groups, mankind, all life forms, the material universe, the spiritual universe, and the supreme being. Scientology addresses the spirit, not the body or mind, and believes that man is far more than a product of his environment or his genes. Scientology comprises a body of knowledge which extends from certain fundamental truths. Prime among these are, man is an immortal spiritual... Man is an immortal spiritual being. His experience extends well beyond a single lifetime, and his capabilities are unlimited, even if not presently realized. Whew. Okay.
That was a lot.
Yeah. So that's like their opening fucking statement on their website, which is, yeah, I mean, you're like, damn, that sounds, I want in on that.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Mm-hmm. I feel like every religion, and again, this is way more of a cult than a religion, but like, doesn't every religion say like people are more than like their experiences and their genes, you know? Exactly. It's like the whole basis of it. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like they all say the same thing. They just use different terminology,
it's exactly. You know? Like, I mean, it's just like how that like Moon Babes in the Light Tribe is like, do you ever feel like there's more to life than the 9 to 5? And it's like, yes, everybody fucking does.
Everybody does. Like, nobody likes working. I mean, rarely do people like working.
Yeah. Oh man. So the creator and longtime leader of Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, had a brief career in the military where he made multiple mistakes, eventually getting himself kicked out. Of course.
Always.
Yeah. Because he was, like, so fucking self-centered, he, like, wanted to, like, command his own fucking thing. So, yeah, and then screwed up a bunch of things. After his military career, he spent several months in a naval hospital complaining of stomach aches, and he claims that during this time he was able to make scientific breakthroughs through endocrine experiments.
Ah.
Okay.
That's something. Also, I feel like this is definitely going to come back, but like he got kicked out of the military, so it was like, actually I'm just too good for the military, so I'm going to make my own military.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Oh, fully, yeah. Very similar to our boy Charles E. Diedrich of Synanon, L. Ron Hubbard also had a drug-induced breakthrough that led him to creating his own doctrine. In April of 1938, L. Ron was having his wisdom teeth extracted when he experienced one of the most pivotal moments of his life. Tripping absolute fucking balls on nitrous oxide, L. Ron said that he died for a full 8 minutes and during this time, he was given a smorgasbord of information about life, the earth, the human spirit, and the afterlife. He said that he was commanded to forget this information, but that he was able to retain it when he returned back to his body.
Sorry if I'm commenting too much,
no, I love it.
I just feel like if every friend I've had who's had like an ego death on like an acid trip started their own religion, oh my god, there'd be too many. There'd be too many religions. Yeah. Like, nah, dude, you just tripping your balls off and you thought you died. Like, I mean, some people take that shit seriously, but I don't know.
I don't know. Like, luckily, like, a lot of people that take acid aren't, like, complete narcissists, so they
also true.
Don't start their own religion, but
also
some of them
true.
do.
Yeah.
Some of them do. So, this near-death experience and this divine knowledge that he gathered inspired him to write Excalibur. Which, can we just pause for a moment on what a fucking nerd this guy is?
Oh, he's such a fucking dork.
Such a fucking nerd, which we'll definitely get more into, like, all the weird fucking words he makes up for shit. It's so lame.
But Excalibur. Tell me more about that.
Excalibur.
I know about it, but I want to hear.
Yes.
I want to hear.
Excalibur was all about how, the fundamental drive of humanity is survival. And this writing was the basic for his writings on Dianetics, which is, like, kind of one of the very main things within Scientology.
Mm-hmm.
In a letter to his publicist, he described Excalibur as... And again, this man is crazy, so I don't know what the fuck this means at all, by the way. He says, quote, "Dark sword, cause and cure of nervous tension. Properly, the science of mind. Really, Excalibur."
I mean,
Huh?
I don't see what there's not to get about that. I understand every single word he's saying. The science of mind.
Right.
Phoebe, come on.
You're right. My bad. He was like very convinced that this book was like so crazy and it would like make readers go crazy and that it was just too dark and twisted. He's in his like Joker era. He said that reading Excalibur would give you the power to quote, and sorry everyone, and trigger warning, the power to quote, rape women without their knowing it, communicate suicide messages to your enemies as they sleep, sell the Arroyo Seco Parkway to the mayor for cash, evolve the best way of protecting or destroying communism. Of course. That has to be in there.
Yeah.
And other handy household hints.
Jesus.
He's so crazy.
That reminds me of that like that pamphlet that I did during like the 1920s fashion episode where it was like, you don't want to vote, and also here's some tips and tricks for the house cleaning.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Fucking insane.
Oh my god. He told his publicist that they would have the easiest time ever publishing this book. It's going to be one of the best books ever written. He cautioned his friend. He says, quote, "If you go crazy, remember, you were warned."
You were born?
You were warned.
Oh, warned. I thought you said born. Oh.
Yes. And then he wanted to require that buyers of the book would have to sign a legal waiver that, quote, "releases the author of all responsibility if the reader goes nuts." Okay, this is literally just like some like 9th grade emo boy type shit who's like, you don't want to read my poetry because you're gonna like, it'll fuck you up.
Yeah, I feel like this is like the bad start to like a creepypasta. Like,
no, exactly. It totally is. God. Okay, here's a few fun, wacky facts about Excalibur. So Elrond said that he was advertising this like extremely limited edition of Excalibur that he was selling for $1,500 per copy. And in this ad, he said that, quote, 4 of the first 15 people who read it went insane.
Damn. I mean, I gotta give him, like, he's an incredibly talented grifter.
Totally.
Like, because, you know, like, he's drumming up that buzz. Like, he's like, yo,
yeah,
people who fucking read this, they fucking went crazy. And he's like, but I'm selling them if you're up to the task. He's, like, calling you a chicken, and you gotta be like, well, fuck, now I gotta, like, buy this book and read it and see if I go insane.
Exactly, yeah. I'm not going to pussy out on this.
Like, I'm a sound mind. Oh, I would love to.
Should we read it and see what happens?
Should we buy audience?
Audience, tell us.
Should we live stream us reading Excalibur?
Yes. Oh my god. When we do eventually set up a Patreon, we'll have to do that. Oh
yes,
god.
We could do a charity stream and like donate it to like
survivors of of cults
like, stuff.
God damn. Okay. Also with Excalibur, Elrond wrote a letter to Kennedy, and he claimed that Soviet agents had stolen like pages from Excalibur, and he said that Soviet agents had offered him $100,000 and laboratory facilities he needed in the USSR so that he could complete his work. So clearly he's delusional. I mean, this man's delusional, right?
He's losing his mind, for sure.
So, let's get into a little more of our boy Elrond's life. Oh, God. Okay, so in 1945, Elrond moves in with John Whiteside Persons, stupid-ass name.
Dumb name.
Dumbass. Who was a devout member of Thelema, which is, a religion, cult, woo-woo group meetings, don't know.
Some kind of shit, yeah.
Something like that. Thelema was created by magician Aleister Crowley.
Ah, yes.
Mr. Crowley!
Oh, yes. Famous... Did you say magician?
Magician.
Oh, I didn't know I know he's, like, into the occult and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Like, he was big-time occultist, but he was, like, hella a magician.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
And, I mean, he was, like, a 1945-ass magician, so people took magicians, like, way more fucking seriously back then. Like, it wasn't just, like... like juggling or whatever. Like he was like doing
like
Houdini ass shit, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But still, magician.
That's tight.
Kind of tight.
I mean, I'm sure Aleister Crowley's done some fucked up things, but I don't know about them at this point, so I'm gonna say tight.
So, Thelema by itself is complete insanity, and I just I'm not even gonna get into it. Don't have the patience to even try to break into it.
Too many things.
Yeah. Okay. So L. Ron and his homie John Parsons worked together to create this whack-ass thing called Babylon Working. Have you heard of this at all?
No, I don't think so.
It was a series of magical sex rituals that were supposed to summon the goddess Babylon, who was the supreme goddess of Thelema.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, as we've all done that, yeah.
Sure, yeah. So back in the day, L. Ron, prior to his Scientology cult, started his own little sex cult. Magical sex cult.
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, damn. I mean, and that's why I feel like Scientology is, because, like, they say, like, with writing, like, the first thing you write is going to be awful, right? Like, it's going to be bad. But then you keep doing it and you get better at it.
Right.
And I feel like that's how L. Ron Hubbard approached starting cults.
He's like, let's see. Sex cult? No, that didn't go too well. No. Science fiction cult? No.
Like, put them together. There we go.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
So following this wild chapter in his life, he moves on to practice for a while as a hypnotist, and then following that, pretended to be a swami.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And this isn't even at the Scientology part yet.
And he's done too many things.
Genuinely. Yeah. Okay. So getting a little bit more towards, like, when he started getting into his Scientology era. In 1950, L. Ron published Dianetics, The Evolution of Science, which I feel like this cult shit easy. You literally just make up words that sound, like, vaguely religious or scientific.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, Dianetics, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's nothing. But it just, you're like, oh, okay.
You're like, well, it kind of sounds official. It sounds like it could maybe be a science, so, like...
So I'm in.
I'm going for it, yeah.
Yeah, and you just have to, like, be really confident while you're saying it. You're like, oh, Dianetics. Totally.
Oh, confidence is like 80% of the game. Truly. Honestly.
really though. And then the other half is just delusion.
Yeah.
Confident delusion. Yep. Is how you run a cult. So Dianetics, The Evolution of Science, is published to a science fiction magazine called Astounding Science Fiction.
Oh, okay.
So let's just focus on that part for a little bit, right? Science fiction. Fiction.
Emphasis on the fiction, right?
Yeah. He later published Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health. This one was published by something called Hermitage House, and I don't know what their, like, affiliation is or whatever. It's just like a publishing company. But I just want to note that this guy jumps from, like, writing literal science fiction to writing something claiming that he has the answers to modern mental health. Not sitting well with me.
Not my favorite thing. I mean, yeah, and that's like...
It's not giving.
From what it's not giving anything, actually. But from what I've heard is, like, L. Ron Hubbard just fucking wrote like a goddamn madman.
Oh,
like,
my God, no.
He would not stop just writing.
Yes.
And that's the thing, is probably most of it was garbage. But then, like, if you're writing like 17 books a year... Whether they're nonfiction or fiction, like, some of them are going to stick, right?
Yep. Yeah, seriously. And within, like, the Scientology, like, I guess doctrines, you could say, there is book after book. I mean, yeah, massive amounts of, like, literature to go along with this. Because, again, yeah, he just fucking wrote all the time.
Insane.
L. Ron Hubbard said that Dianetics was, quote, a spiritual healing technology and an organized science of thought. Okay, L. Ron, you can't just say words and pretend that they mean something.
I mean, they all do.
True. In Dianetics, he details how he will heal people of traumatic memories and experiences through a process of auditing and clearing. He said that Dianetic treatment would release and erase psychosomatic ills and painful emotions and would leave people with clarity of mind.
Okay.
Which it's like, you know, that sounds really great. Like, I would love to be healed of traumatic memories and experiences.
Yeah.
You know? which is, of course, how a lot of people get into this.
Well, and I kind of feel like, okay, like, if you're, so he's like, I have this like special magic to cure your past traumas and memories, but like and then he probably does like what, like a group, like a therapy session with this stuff, I would assume, like
Kind of. We'll get into it.
yeah, and I'm sure you'll get into it, but it's like it isn't just like talking through your trauma gonna help in general. So it's like I'm sure people were just feeling better after talking about it.
Like talk therapy is a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's true. It's true. Ugh. And where was I? Oh yeah, yelling about L. Ron just making shit up.
Always.
So, after publishing Dianetics, L. Ron introduces his idea of thetans, which is another made-up word, as he does, which is basically just the idea of a human soul. And he claimed that he was the first person ever to come up with this concept.
Of a soul?
Of a soul, yeah.
Lol.
Yeah. If there's one thing you need to know about L. Ron, it's that this guy loves to make up a word.
Yeah, I mean, so did Shakespeare.
That's true.
But, I mean, Shakespeare didn't... I mean...
Shakespeare kind of sucked, I feel like.
He probably kind of sucked. I feel like... Didn't he cheat on his wife a lot?
Probably.
Anne Hathaway?
Whatever. I don't fucking... Did you say Anne Hathaway?
That was her name.
No fucking way, really?
Yeah, her name was Anne Hathaway.
What the hell?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm pretty sure... I don't know, but... I don't think Shakespeare started a cult, but I was going to say, maybe, I mean, are theater kids kind of a cult?
I mean, no shade to any of our very close friends.
To our very close theater friends. But let us know. I mean, do you think it's a cult?
Yeah. You know what isn't a cult?
What isn't a cult?
Products and services?
I'm going to say, can you be sure?
I cannot guarantee.
Be sure of that statement.
Don't quote me on that one.
Ads. All right. We're back. We're talking about that weird SpongeBob episode where they do the panty raid.
Do you guys remember that?
It was, yeah. I feel like when I was a kid, I didn't think twice about it. But
I didn't think I fully understood like what that meant.
I kind of feel like I mean, maybe that was a thing that happened back in the day, but
I guess.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a weird, I mean, maybe I'm just not shitty and I wouldn't do that.
I just feel like it's a weird choice for a children's show.
Well, that especially, but like even just in general, like have you ever met anybody who's like, yo, let's go steal someone's panties? Like,
no.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I haven't.
Weird thing. Anyway.
Well, thetans? Should we get back into it?
Oh, I'd love to get back into it. Because so L. Ron Hubbard invented the concept of having a soul.
Yeah, he was the first one to ever invent this. He discovered it. It was him. It's for sure not something that they talk about like in the Bible. Mm-hmm. That's not like a concept that's like thousands of years old or anything. Mm-hmm. L. Ron Hubbard was the one to discover it.
In like 1945.
Yeah, something like that. 52.
Oh.
Actually.
Even later than I thought. Damn, souls are recent.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's true. Before that, people were just soulless pieces of shit walking around.
They're just empty shells.
Oh, man. Okay, so in a quote from scientology.org, from their section on L. Ron Hubbard, they have this to say about L. Ron discovering souls. Quote, in July of 1952, L. Ron Hubbard became the first to scientifically isolate, measure, and describe the human spirit while objectively demonstrating spiritual potentials well in advance of scientific thought. Moreover, those potentials were found to be possessed by every human being and just as universally attainable. You guys don't have the vision to see me, but I did roll my eyes really hard in the middle of that.
That was a big eye roll.
Yeah.
How would you say that in like layman's terms? Like,
okay, so basically they're saying that he. I'm like, I can't even. Basically.
I can't talk about it.
Basically, they're saying that he was the first person to like scientifically measure and find like the human spirit / soul, and find what the potentials were, like the potentials of the human spirit that goes like beyond like earthly shit.
I see.
And that was like way advanced than any other scientist that I ever fucking done, because L. Ron Hubbard's just so smart. They're saying that like these types of like potential skills and stuff found within like that soul, every human being can have them.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Does that make sense?
You have to like connect to your.
It doesn't, but
no, but I think I get it. You got to connect to your like inner soul,
exactly,
and then like you can
Taylor.
learn things. Oh,
they're trying to bring you back to your inner
exactly.
thetan, the purity that is your inner thetan.
Yeah. Again, I feel like all this stuff it just sounds like you're just being introspective. Like you're just reflecting on yourself, and then you're like, man, maybe I can make this part of me better because I'm thinking about my actions. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't think it's that deep, dog.
It doesn't have to be like this. Yeah. And it just, oh my God, it's just so nerdy. All these fucking stupid words he makes up for shit. Which, like, again, and I don't want to say anything bad. When I read the word thetan, I'm like, this is dumb. That's all I have to say. Okay.
I don't think I don't think you're dumb or you're bad for thinking that a made up word from a science fiction author that became a religious tenet is dumb.
Yeah.
Like if you're like a quote unquote nerd and you like play Yu-Gi-Oh or like video games or something, like that's fine. You're actually cool as fuck.
True.
Probably because you don't think that those things are a religion.
Right.
Like
yeah. I mean, yeah.
I feel like that's the part that makes these guys fucking
nerdy.
dorks, dude.
Yeah. So L. Ron, along with his homies, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction, that magazine that he was published in previously, and his brother-in-law, who was a physician, the brother-in-law of the editor of the magazine, his brother-in-law, who was a physician, attempted to get Dianetics admitted into the Journal of the American Medical Association, as well as the American Journal of Psychiatry in 1949, but it was rejected.
I wonder why. Hey.
On the same page. But Dianetics did not need the help of medical journals to boost its popularity. It spent a full 6 months on the New York Times bestsellers list.
Oof, dude.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
I'm over it. Me 27 times researching this shit. Literally, it was like every like 5 minutes I was like, what?
Pardon me.
Pardon?
Yeah. It's funny because like, you know, I feel like from what we'll get into with my research, like people are stupid now for sure. Like, and it feels like because we're in the midst of it that like people have a disregard for modern medicine, but like it's always been this way.
No, it's true. It's true. And if you can, hi baby. Moonshine's giving me a little hello.
Moonshine.
If you can like find any, I mean, this is what Scientology does, is they find like vulnerability in people like who have either had like bad luck in the medical field, which is very common because, you know, medicine's great, but it is flawed, as well as so is our like
healthcare system.
Thank you. Yes. Fuck. And like mental health is such a fragile thing and such like a difficult thing, and a lot of people haven't had good therapy experiences or haven't had good like mental health medication experiences, and this thing is telling you like, oh, this is gonna cure you really fucking easy. You're like, great.
Yeah, and like medicine free, therapy free, or whatever it is. Yeah,
exactly.
I think that people just, well, and it's such a sad, sorry to go on a tangent, but
I love
you know
it.
how it is. It's just such a sad like situation a lot of times too, because people have had these bad experiences and in some cases are like in dire situations,
exactly.
like whether it's mental health or physical health. And it's like, then some grifter comes along and is like, oh, bro, I fucking got you.
Exactly.
I have a book that tells you how to connect with your soul. And then they're like, oh shit, it's that easy?
Exactly.
It's just, you know, $1,500.
This is what I've been missing out on.
Yeah. You just have to sell your life away to Scientology and you're cured. Yeah. Shit like that.
Exactly. It's evil. It's really evil. So, spend 6 months on the New York Times bestseller list. because of this, L. Ron starts to gain quite the following, and he was able to establish the Hubbard Dianetic Research Foundation. And this is where Scientology really starts to take form. In case you were worried that reincarnation would not be involved, don't worry.
Oh, shit.
We got you. Some of the patients of Dianetics started describing past lives that they had lived. So L. Ron was like, oh, sick, yeah, that's actually the Thetan, a part of you that's immortal and therefore totally could have lived past lives. And this is a totally original concept that I came up with.
Absolutely, yeah, no, it's never been thought of before. I was starting to sweat, I was starting to sweat because I was nervous that
I had
reincarnation
to reassure you.
wasn't involved.
Every cult has to have a little bit of reincarnation peppered in. So around this time, L. Ron introduces the E-meter, which some people may be familiar with that. This is something that would become a large part of Scientology and was used in the clearing process. So E-meters are supposed to measure a person's well-being and their emotional state. L. Ron, of course, claimed that he was the original creator of the E-meter, when in fact machines very similar to E-meters were being used in Russia all the way back to 1889. Not to measure people's spiritual blockages or whatever the fuck, but it was something completely different. Doesn't matter. But he was like, I'm gonna totally fucking use this thing. So an E-meter is like this little device. It kind of looks like an old-timey radio. And then it has two little rods attached to it that you hold on to, and then it will measure your spiritual
blockings.
Shit. I don't know. Yeah.
Here, I want to look up a picture of it.
Yeah,
really quick.
Go ahead. I will continue talking. So, at the beginning of the year in 1951, the New Jersey Board of Medical Examiners began investigating the Hubbard Dianetic Research Foundation, and they began legal prosecution against them for teaching medicine without a license. So, this is when, of course, L. Ron Hubbard is like, loophole, it's a church. So he tries to get it recognized as a religion, as many, many cult leaders are apt to do whenever their cults come under fire. They claim they are a religion and pull an MC Hammer. Can't touch this.
That was a good.
Thank you.
Yeah. I can tell. I can tell that when you wrote that, you chuckled to yourself.
I was like, this is so fucking funny.
Taylor's gonna laugh at this, and I did.
Yeah.
I did, and I guffawed.
Thank you. So February 18th, 1954, the first church of Scientology is set up in California. The next was erected in New Zealand. Please don't cut that and use it for anything else. I'm copywriting that right now. Don't take that.
Your voice sample saying erected. Well, there's mine too. So
make a sexy little lo-fi song with that. So anyway. Next one's put up in New Zealand, and then the head facility was set up in Washington, D.C., and then it spreads through Australia, France, UK, the U.S., all around the world. I almost spilled my coffee. So now that we have the basic history of how Scientology began and the idea of what a complete bonkers bananas guy L. Ron Hubbard is, let's get a little bit into what Scientologists believe and some of the dangerous practices that they use to manipulate their members.
Please. I'm dying to know.
So the main tenet of Scientology is humankind's drive for survival. They believe that humans react to traumatic events and that these traumas can infringe upon an individual's ability to enjoy life. Yeah, obviously that's fucking true.
That's pretty, pretty common knowledge.
Animals want to survive, and when traumatic things happen to you, it makes it hard to enjoy life.
Yeah, and it's that's kind of animals' number one goal for existing
surviving.
Is surviving.
You have to survive so you don't
spreading
die.
Your species line. That's kind of the thing.
But he was like, "This is the smartest shit I've ever thought of." Oh God. So L. Ron Hubbard claims that Scientology has a precise path that will lead you to spiritual freedom and eventually to the supreme being. Some of the fundamental truths, heavy air quotes, of Scientology are: man is an immortal spiritual being. His experience extends well beyond a single lifetime, and his capabilities are unlimited, even if not presently realized. So let's break down what the path to freedom is based on the beliefs of a Scientologist. In Dianetics, the modern science of mental health, L. Ron breaks down his process of healing the mind from engrams, or in normal person speak, traumatic memories. Mm-hmm. Again, we have a fucking made-up word. He says that through a process of auditing and clearing, you are able to rid yourself of engrams. Elrond claims that while some engrams are accidents and just a part of life, other engrams are created by, quote, thetans who have gone bad and want power. Okay, remember this whole thing. These engrams are called implants. Quote, implants result in all varieties of illness, apathy, degradation, neurosis, insanity, and are the principal cause of these in man.
Okay.
So he's saying that there are thetans, aka like human souls, that have gone bad and want power, and they are able to implant these engrams that are like the worst thing, and they cause illness in your life, they cause like depression, craziness, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, so he's just like, he just recreated the concept of like demons.
Basically,
like those are just demon souls.
Yeah. But it's like, but thetans are a part of other humans. So he's saying that like other human beings are responsible for implanting these dangerous engrams into you. Okay. Which is important.
Is it, okay, that is important, but, well, so now, not to get too in the weeds of the insane Scientology, but like, so obviously these thetans they get reincarnated, like it's the same soul in different bodies, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I guess like every thetan is like in a host currently. Is that like the idea? Are there thetans that are just like floating around?
Maybe.
Probably, I would assume, because there's more people now, so there can't be like a finite amount of thetans, right?
Right, exactly.
But so like, is it like a specific like other person that like is weighing you down, or could it be like an ethereal thetan that's just like on the astro plane?
I mean, I think the idea is that it's other people because, okay, spoiler alert, but basically it's like, you know, that would be somebody who's telling you like Scientology is not good for you, blah, 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 blah. So it's this way of like demonizing people that are trying to take you away from Scientology. He's like, oh, it's just a dark thetan.
They're dark thieves.
So you gotta blah, blah, blah.
Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay, I get it.
Auditing. I've mentioned it a couple of times, so let's get into what that is.
I'm so ready.
This is not a tax thing, although that one's bad as well.
Also don't like that one. This one might be a little worse, though.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I don't know. Taxes are bad.
So Scientology says that through auditing, you will be able to go clear and free yourself of engrams. They say that each person has hidden abilities that can be discovered through auditing and clearing, and that this will bring you closer to being one with your thetan. So, auditing is a one-on-one session with a member of Scientology known as an auditor. You would sit with an auditor and work to find and understand ARC, or principles of affinity, reality, and communication. Again, he just loves to make up this crazy shit.
It's just it's just a bunch of buzzwords.
Is it? Exactly.
It's like synergy.
Taylor, I literally said, okay, real quick, can we just talk about the amount of made up words and little phrases that they string together? Because it's such a cult shit to just make up some shit that sounds buzzy.
Exactly. It's just buzzwords.
Like synergy.
In like a company meeting. Like we gotta synergize, and they'll make an acronym out of it. Like,
exactly.
Shit like that.
Oh my god, and Scientology loves acronyms too.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Oh my god. So during this auditing session, you'll sit across from your auditor, holding on to 2 electrodes on your e-meter. So like I said, the e-meter, yes, it looks like... Taylor's holding up a picture.
I got a picture of the e-meter.
We'll post one, of course, don't worry.
Absolutely.
It's like I said, so the e-meter kind of looks like some kind of little like alarm clock radio thing. And then it's got these 2 little kind of metal cans that are attached to it with little wires. You'll hold on to both of those. And they have like an electric current going through them. Not like an intense one, just like a little vibrating thing. So the e-meter supposedly measures areas of spiritual difficulties. This is an engram creating a blockage in your life, according to Scientologists. The auditor will ask very specific and deep questions about the engram in order to help clear this engram, and they'll use the e-meter to measure when this particular engram has been cleared. Okay. In order to excel on your Scientology journey, or the bridge to total freedom, as they call it, you have to address more and more difficult and traumatic engrams with an auditor. You good?
Yeah, no, I was just fucking with the mic.
Revealing more and more about your personal life, traumas, struggles, right? So in order to move up at all, you have to be confessing all of the most traumatic moments of your life to somebody. That sounds safe.
That's a pretty common theme with all these cults, right? Like, because I think like Qanon, and it's like
exactly,
you gotta play the game, you gotta like literally the game. Like you have to
Yep.
be part of that and get berated for your past misdeeds or whatever.
Exactly.
It's all the same, like building them up, or breaking them down, building them back up, shit, like they always do.
Right. And then, I mean, dangerously, the e-meter is apparently not only measuring traumatic memories that you might have collected in this life, but in your past lives as well, because your Thetans' lives can go back billions of years.
Oh, shit.
So it's like, I just feel like that gives them blank check, ding, 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 to, like, insert whatever, they fucking want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I just thought that this part was pretty funny. L. Ron Hubbard claimed that the e-meter was so sensitive that it could measure whether or not fruits can experience pain. And he said, in 1968, he said that tomatoes, quote, scream when sliced. What?
Are you kidding me? That's
I'm not.
Okay, this is a really weird tie-in. But I was listening to an episode of Behind the Bastards, and they were talking about some like right-wing radio motherfucker that like was a piece of shit. But I guess he had like this debate that this right-wing radio guy did with this like vegan activist. And he quotes that thing. He says that tomatoes can scream. But that's an L. Ron Hubbard quote? That's fucking wild. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
What a fucking, oh my god. I cannot believe it. This goes all the way to the top.
Oh my god. Taylor, would you like to take a guess at how much an auditing session costs?
Oof. I'm gonna say like lowball.
Okay.
Like if you're getting like the family discount on auditing, let's say $2,400.
Like total or what?
Maybe that's too high. Maybe I'm jaded from all the cult talk, but
I'll give it to you. So an auditing session can be a minimum of 2 to 2.5 hours and can of course run longer. And they ring up at the completely reasonable price of $800 an hour.
Okay, so like
that's
that is actually very possible.
Yes.
Yeah, because for 2 hours that's 16 big ones right there.
Yeah.
Like, so it could very well. Okay, yeah. So I feel like I was pretty on.
You were pretty on the nose. Yeah.
Sorry, I was kind of thinking like for some reason it was gonna be like $5,000 or something like.
Well, there's something later that costs $5,000 in this.
There we
go.
I was gonna say I feel like something's got to be like in the thousands, like the
absolutely.
thousands for like one specific weird thing,
Yup. Okay, I have just a bit more, and then we're turning over the time to Taylor.
Oh, you're good.
So, basic questions in auditing will go like this, and then it kind of like the questions will move up in like difficulty as you like graduate to these different grades or whatever. Fuck you guys, it's so much. So, okay. Like one of the first questions you'll be asked is just recall a communication. Okay. Next one would be like recall a place from which you have communicated to another. Recall a problem you have had with another. Next one, recall a secret. Next one, can you recall a time of change? Next one, what about a victim you could be responsible for? So like, and the way they ask shit is like creepy. But yeah, it's like they're trying to get out. Like the last one, like what about a victim could you be responsible for? So it's a really stupid way to ask this, but it's like basically like who have you like hurt in the past kind of thing.
Well, and I mean it's no shade on, like, I know there's a lot of people like things that people do, like tarot readings for instance, that are like not hurting anybody,
right?
But it's that same kind of vibe in my mind where it's like they just like say a thing and then you can just apply whatever situation in your life to the thing, like to the like whatever scenario to like what they're saying,
Right.
It's the same thing. Like they're just like prodding for like something to like for you to bring up, right?
Exactly. Well, because those questions are all pretty like recall a secret, like they're like pretty
general
open questions that also are going for like the difficult areas of your life or whatever, in order to get you to like spill the tea about yourself.
Yeah I don't know, maybe the tarot reading isn't the best comparison, but it's just that like vibe of like anything can fit in this
horoscope
slot.
kind of thing.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, where it's like, because they're not really trying to predict anything with this, but like it's just that thing where it's like you're gonna start confessing to like inconsequential things because you just don't know what to like bring up,
Yeah, and it's funny that you brought up the game because this is basically, I mean, it's like a really expensive, slightly more private version of the game. You're being coerced to confess to someone your deep traumas. You're being told to reveal some of the most vulnerable and private parts of your life. And then somebody's somehow measuring that and getting rid of that trauma. I don't know. Not really. Once again, something we know is a very common cult tactic. And again, just like fucking Synanon, this is something being done by someone who's not a licensed professional, therefore does not know how to safely guide you through recalling and healing from traumatic events or memories. And it's so dangerous.
Yeah, and yeah, because that's even just a problem in like religious institutions in general, is like people who don't have the training to like, you know, like a family counselor or whatever, that like aren't actual therapists, haven't actually gone to school or know anything about doing this. They're just like I don't know. In my eyes, I'm like, what about going to like school for theology to be a pastor also makes you able to be like a family counselor, you know? Yeah. Just doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I will definitely get into it a bit later, but Scientology is like very against therapy in any way, shape, or form. They do not like it. Of course they are.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll get into it.
Yeah. Let's take another quick ad break, and then I'll finish out.
Sounds good to me.
Who need they associate?
OMG, me? We are back.
We are here to tell you more about how horrible Scientology is.
Truly.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna dive. So we talked about auditing a bit. Auditing can take an even darker turn when members have to go through something called security checks.
Oh, no.
Yeah. These checks happen when a member is suspected of questioning Scientology or breaking a rule of Scientology. These sessions can last hours, and the auditor will absolutely be grilling the member and often will end up getting a false confession because the member's like, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And, you know, of course, like, that's pretty open to interpretation of, like, how they broke a rule or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the member being audited has to pay for these sessions.
Oh my god. Of course they do.
Yeah.
Fucking of course they do.
Yeah. So I've mentioned clearing. Here's what clearing is. Clearing is what happens during auditing sessions. I've mentioned this word several times. One of the main goals of Scientology and of Scientologists, and something that you will hear from them all the time, is going clear. They describe clearing as, again, this is a wacky quote, so bear with me. Quote, the attainment of man's dreams through the ages of attaining a new and higher state of existence and freedom from the endless cycle of birth, death, birth. Clear is the total erasure of the reactive mind from which stems all the anxieties and problems the individual has.
Okay, yeah. I mean, doesn't make any sense, but
yeah, they say that the reactive mind is like the mind that stores, like, the part of the mind that stores like all of the traumatic memories, and that it's reacting to those traumatic memories in your daily life, causing you to have like anxiety and difficulties and blah blah blah. And then clearing that, which they never really say what that even is, will free you of all that. Okay, so basically this is able to happen by a person being honest about their engrams in their auditing sessions and being willing to share all the details of an engram. And then the auditor, using the e-meter, will measure whether or not you are cleared of this engram. I guess.
Okay, so I mean, so the auditor, so you go to the auditing or the audits, if you will, to learn about all of the things, and then clearing is when you finally get over the
like it's basically like you are telling. Are you biting that? Don't bite that.
Hey, don't eat the plant.
Moonshine. You're basically like talking to this person about your traumatic memories and shit, and then they are somehow magically with this e-meter measuring whether or not you're like healed from that traumatic memory, which is obviously bullshit. So the more you clear, the more and more you're able to move up the bridge to total freedom and achieve the 8 dynamics of survival. The 8 dynamics of survival, as described by Elron, are the 8 measures for survival all human beings have, and that you will be able to achieve higher and higher levels of these dynamics the more clear that you are. So these 8 dynamics are, 1, the first dynamic is the urge towards survival of self. 2, the second dynamic is the urge towards survival through sex or children. So it's basically saying, like, first part is, like, the sexual act itself, and then the second part is, like, bringing up children in order to, like, survive and carry on through. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. So it's like self-preservation and then, like, preservation of, like, a bloodline, if you will.
Exactly. Third dynamic is the urge towards survival through a group of individuals or as a group. You know, nations, teams, in your town, blah, blah, blah.
Religions, if you will.
Right. Fourth dynamic is the urge towards survival through all mankind and as all mankind. So I guess it's just like the general idea that mankind wants to not die, I guess. The fifth dynamic is the urge towards survival through life forms such as animal, birds, insects, blah, 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 saying, like, all life forms have an urge to survive. The sixth dynamic is the urge towards survival as the physical universe and has its components, matter, energy, space, and time, which they have as a cute little acronym called MEST. Basically, it's saying that, like, even the universe itself has this urge towards survival that you can see through matter, energy, space, time, da-da-da. The seventh dynamic is the urge towards survival through spirits or as a spirit. So, like, your soul, spirit, blah, blah, blah. The eighth dynamic is the urge towards survival through the supreme being, or more exactly, infinity.
Okay.
Baby, what?
Yeah, this is a lot.
It's
I suppose.
a lot.
But I mean, I guess I get it.
Yeah,
I guess I kind of get, like, what he's trying to say. Like,
yeah,
it's like the moral levels of, like,
yeah, it's kind of like the hierarchy of whatever.
Like morality, where it's like you care about yourself and you care about your family, and then it's like on and on until you end up caring about, like, the universe as like a being, you know. Until
you get to that eighth dynamic, and then shit gets kind of weird. The eighth dynamic is basically when you become a godlike entity yourself. They don't necessarily say that up front, but on the Scientology website, there is a video describing these 8 dynamics, which they lay out like 8 concentric circles. This video is, like, so cheesy and gives me, like, big heebie-jeebies. It was, oh my god, it's so weird. There's, like, birds flying, and it's like, the 8 dynamics. This video describes the 8th dynamic as being the supreme being, which is infinity, and, quote, embraces the allness of all. Mom, can you pick me up? I'm scared.
The allness of all.
Ugh, it gave me, like, Wrinkle in Time. Have you read that book?
No.
Oh my god. Anyway, for anybody who
apparently.
has, there's like at the end of Wrinkle in Time, they're like having to fight this like big brain guy, and he just like he says like weird shit like that. Anyway, which maybe L. Ron Hubbard got the inspiration from because he did love science fiction.
Yeah.
So, this video says that only when the 7th dynamic is reached in its entirety can someone fully understand the 8th dynamic.
I mean, only when the 7, so you have to go through all the levels.
Yes.
And then, well, I mean, that makes sense.
I mean, yeah. They were, like, really stressing that point. And
like,
I was
you cannot skip a you
like,
cannot skip a dynamic.
I kind of had that idea, but I don't know. They're saying, like, you have to fully, like, understand, like, your own soul or whatever. But I don't fucking, okay.
Sure, dude. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So that is my whole spiel for today. And next time we'll get into a little bit more and a little bit more of the history of the church existing and all that.
Oof, I'm shaking. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I'm shitting and pissing.
Exactly. That sounded sarcastic, but it's not. I'm actually extremely excited because I love talking about this stuff.
It's so great. I'm so excited for yours, Taylor.
Thank
my
you.
God.
I'm excited too. So it's my turn to tell Phoebe about some shit. And I did good old QAnon. Big fans, I'd say we are, of QAnon. Big fans of just their vibe.
Yes.
Loving the vibe.
Loving the vibes with you.
Exactly.
From a very funny TikTok that I saw.
So yeah, let's jump into QAnon.
Let's do it.
Our story starts in October of 2016. Donald Trump was running for presidency, and Kim Kardashian had just been robbed at gunpoint in her hotel in Paris.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
That doesn't really have anything to do with QAnon, but that's like to set the stage.
Yeah.
What was happening at the time?
Dude, 2016 was fucking wild.
A little wild year.
I mean, everything, it's been pretty much since then.
Yeah.
But like, fuck, I forgot about
only
the Kim
gotten
Kardashian
more
thing.
insane. Yeah, she got fucking robbed
Oh my
at
God.
gunpoint.
At gunpoint.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But on the 30th, a white supremacist Twitter account posted falsely about a pedophilia ring linking to several Democratic Party members that had been uncovered by the New York Police Department. This conspiracy claimed that Comet Ping Pong Pizzeria in Washington, D.C.
Like, why? Literally, with all of this shit, it's always like, it has to be some like goofy, wacky fucking thing.
Comic Ping Pong Pizzeria in Washington, D.C. was the meeting ground for this nefarious group. This became known as Pizzagate, which obviously is a play on Watergate, the real-life Richard Nixon conspiracy that is true.
Yeah, real thing.
This story caught fire like my hair in a flamethrower, being spread around alt-right news sites as pure fact. So, you know, they were pushing it real hard. Some offenders were worse than others. I mean, obviously, you know, right-wing news sites they don't fact check. They just kind of say
Not
things.
a thing.
But, you know, what's real doesn't really matter to anymore.
No.
Like, truth hasn't mattered for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, once you let, like, the president of the United States just repeatedly, they've been repeatedly lying on TV for years. It didn't just start with Donald Trump.
True, but it's, yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's hard, because I feel like, at least maybe back in the day, like, news outlets had some kind of, like, ethical,
Yeah,
I don't know.
a
Maybe it was
little
just, like, less, on demand too, you know, like there's so many
True.
right-wing news sites that are like fucking insane,
bit. No, it's true.
and then everybody spreads them around Facebook, and it's just this big fucking thing.
Your weird aunt is like, hey, look at this.
Look at this, lizard people that live in the sewers.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber's one of them. I don't
They're getting rid of change because of fucking, I don't even know.
know. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I do know that one. It's because they say that like it's linked to like the economy, and they're like, oh, they're getting rid of cash because they want everything to be like creditized so that banks have more power, and then, you know, there's the whole like New World Order shit where they're like,
Yep.
you won't use cash anymore. They'll implant your debit card in your brain, and then
Swear to
they'll
God.
scan you, whatever the fuck
But then
they
these
say.
are the same people that are like, cryptocurrency's so sick.
I know. Yeah,
Like,
it's so
baby, what are
fucking
you
dumb.
talking about?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, anywho, now simultaneously or around the same time, there was a little website you may have heard of. It is called 4chan.
One of just the most healthy, well-run websites in existence.
Never had a bad thing happen.
No.
So on 4chan, there's the poll board, which stands for politics, which wasn't uncommon for threads called HTG to pop up, which stands for Human Trafficking General. And these threads consisted of like mostly the same shady kind of cabal bullshit that we hear.
Yeah.
It's actually widely thought that this was kind of like the missing link, if you will, between like Pizzagate and QAnon. Was like there's Pizzagate, which kind of had this whole like cabal thing with
Right.
like the Democratic Party, and then there was like these HTG threads that were going on. And they were a lot like Q, but they didn't have like a coherent storyline to them. Like it was a bunch of people like making wacky ass posts about this or that, or and there probably was some like, you know, genuine like human trafficking posts that were in there as well.
Because it's a real thing that happens.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not what they think it is, but it does happen for sure. But yeah, so there wasn't really this like coherent storyline or central theme, It was basically just a bunch of like fascist nerds talking about saving the children in America. Again, fucking nerds, dude.
Fucking nerds.
Before Q, the idea of anons was pretty common. There was like different kind of anons that like had popped up, which obviously stands for like anonymous. So like for instance, like there was one that was called FBI anon, HLI anon, and a bunch of like different ones that would pop up that would claim to have like inside information. Like FBI anon obviously claimed to have like FBI information.
Right.
And, like, it's pretty common on 4chan to, like, have... Because, again, everything's anonymous, so you'll get, like, people who leak stuff, like, anything, really. Like, they'll leak that, like, oh, this person got in a car accident before, like, any news sources get it because they're, like, an EMT or something, and they, like, will just post to, like, the board or whatever. So, yeah, it's a, anonymous internet culture. It's a big thing.
Yep.
The idea of like anonymous research wasn't new, and similar people to Q popped up relatively often. The difference was that they were all kind of were going to be fused together and given a leader, and that leader was Donald J. Trump, Donald Jeffrey Trump. I'm pretty sure is what that is, right?
I think I don't know.
Donald Donald Jizz Trump. What a
I'm so sorry.
What a good tie-in. You said you were bringing back the word jizz. Yeah,
I'm bringing it back, you guys. Let's all start actively using the word jizz a lot more.
Yeah, like we're like it's really reminds me of my like 14-year-old days. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just jizz.
It's just a silly goofy word.
It's a crazy silly word. Anyway, so that's kind of where that all in a way comes from. Again, like all this goes back, and I'll talk a little bit more about it later, but that's kind of what led up to Q being formed. Almost a year to the day after Pizzagate, like the 28th of October, 2017, a post from a Q clearance patriot called Calm Before the Storm gave a cryptic...
That is so lame.
It's so fucking lame. Sounds like a Michael Bay movie.
It does. Oh my god.
Exactly.
Michael Bay.
Yeah, so Q Clearance Patriot posts this post on 4chan called Calm Before the Storm. It's kind of this cryptic post about how Donald Trump was about to expose the satanic child sex trafficking ring ran by the deep state. Many Q followers still refer to the event, or like when Donald Trump eventually does expose the satanic child sex trafficking ring ran by the deep state, the storm from that post. So that's where that came from.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a bunch of nerds. But I did want to take a quick break to read you the contents of that post.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
So, I mean, I'm not going to say that Scientology makes sense compared to this, but let's see what you think.
It's just so dark and twisted that you just might go crazy after hearing it.
Yeah, this is you might just find yourself wanting to revolt against the government after you hear this. Yeah,
lay it on me.
All right. Gotta clear my throat. Mockingbird, HRC detained, not arrested. Parentheses yet. Where is Huma? Follow Huma. This has nothing to do with Russia. Parentheses yet. Why does POTUS surround himself with generals? What is military intelligence? Why go around the 3-letter agencies? What Supreme Court case allows for the use of MI versus congressional assembled and approved agencies? Who has ultimate authority over our branches of military without approval conditions unless 90 plus in wartime conditions? What is the military code? Where is the AW being held? Why? POTUS will not go on TV to address nation. POTUS must isolate himself to prevent negative optics. POTUS knew removing criminal rogue elements as first step was essential to free and pass legislation. Who has access to everything classified? Do you believe HRC, Soros, Obama, etc. have more power than Trump? Fantasy. Sorry, that part gets me. Whoever controls the office of the presidency controls this great land. They never believed for a moment they, Democrats and Republicans, would lose control. This is not a RVD battle? Why did Soros donate all his money recently? Why would he place all his funds in ARC? Mockingbird, 10, 30, 17. God bless fellow patriots. What do you think?
What does any of that even fucking mean?
I don't know.
Like, oh my fucking God. To read that and be like, oh, fuck yeah. Like,
Huh?
You have to be like so far gone already to read that and think it means anything.
Well, yeah, it's so weird because like I feel like I've seen weird conservative ass like military talk before on social media, but there was like, again, there's this weird blend of like human sex trafficking, New World Order, Pizzagate, like just all these things happening that like for some reason, and then I think it was like the anonymous aspect of it that people were like, could this actually be an insider with intelligence?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like that's $1 million question, is like, why did Q catch on the way it did? And I think it's just a perfect storm of everything.
Exactly.
But yeah, it makes no fucking sense.
No,
it's literally
like none of that is any. It's just words put together.
Yeah, it's
like
just,
it's not even.
and again, it has like this faint, like military kind of sounding like talk where it's like
23.
Mockingbird 10, 30, 17, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah.
God. And it's just like, I know it's just some fucking like nerd ass motherfucker like sitting in his basement like writing this shit, being like, this is so smart,
bro, I'm so sick. Yeah, no, for sure.
Drinking Mountain Dew
and Doritos. Yeah. I can't.
No shade to nerds who sit in their basements and drink Mountain Dew, but just like, don't create a cult.
Don't start a cult, please. Anyway, QAnon is very similar to other New World Order conspiracy theories of the past, whether it's NASA hiding flat Earth, the Illuminati dictating world events, or the government ordering the 9/11 attacks. Distrust of government is something that has been extremely persistent and can be traced as far back as the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, the conspiracy theory of the Nazis.
Yeah.
But and yeah, that's the thing, and like, and all of them, like, that's what's like tricky about it, is like, I don't think that people get into Q. I mean, some of them probably are already anti-Semitic, but like, the anti-Semitism always like comes a little bit later.
Exactly. It's like one of those things that's like kind of secretly revealed later. But it's like, well, now I'm too deep into this, so I guess
they whisper that part until you're like big enough in it.
Exactly.
But yeah, so after the first post, Paul Ferber and Coleman Rogers, who are both 4chan users, and YouTuber Tracy Diaz began spreading the Q posts religiously. It is also believed, according to the Reuters report, that Russian-backed Twitter accounts may have also been pushing Q posts in as early as November of 2017. But yeah, and I think that's another thing, is like, it was this weird random post that started on 4chan, and they were and like, these like people kind of just like latched on and were like, what could this mean? And I feel like if it was just a post that like people came across, they'd be like, this doesn't make any fucking sense.
Exactly.
But then like these other people started like deciphering it for people and being like, could this mean this and this? Like, you know, fucking Charlie, red string ass Charlie, like yeah, like they were doing that kind of shit. And I feel like that's what got so many people hooked on it, is they were like, again, seeing patterns where there weren't any and stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know. Again, it's all speculation, but
I mean, sometimes you gotta speculate because it doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's just, yeah, and it's so interesting because, again, like, we just hit a point in culture where they were like, you know what? I think all the conspiracies are real.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. Anyway, Q drops, as they began to be known as, were eventually moved to 8chan because add 4 more.
Exactly.
But
more chans. It's like Dante's like layers of hell.
Exactly. I mean, basically.
Dante's layers of Chan.
Because this I don't have this scripted here, but the Chans came from like there was originally like a Japanese forum site that I believe was called 2Channel, and then from there, you know, like I think 2Channel was made because like Reddit had too much moderation, which, and then 2Channel had too much moderation, so someone made 4chan, and then 4chan. Well, what's interesting actually, again, this is kind of a tangent, but 4chan banned talk of like Gamergate at some point, and then that's what caused 8chan to fucking skyrocket because people are like, oh, I want to talk about how much I hate women. Like,
which it's crazy that like you say that they went on to make these other chans because Reddit had too much moderation, where Reddit is literally like, I've seen some fucking shit on Reddit.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, that's the thing is like they just wanted a place where like literally you could say anything, and it gets pretty gross. Yeah. We'll get into it, but
sheesh.
So yeah, 8chan because the Q drops were eventually moved to 8chan because Q claimed that 4chan had been infiltrated, whatever the fuck that means.
Right.
And 8chan is just 4chan but less moderated. 8chan was actually shut down in 2019 because of its connections with the El Paso shooting and other violent incidents because, again, it was a breeding ground for fucking right-wing extremists.
Yeah.
Like, this forced the QAnoners to move to another site called EndChan, E-N-D Chan, and then eventually the revived 8kun,
Jesus
8kun. Again, I don't. These are just the fucking names. I don't know. Like, it's some shit. I've spent way too much time in this realm of the internet, and I hate it.
It's so insane.
But yeah, so and I've browsed all of these sites in my day, and it's not only a breeding place for Nazis, but 8chan also had a very large child porn trading population. Which is why I feel like it's so ironic that Q would be fighting the deep state on a site that's known for the exact same thing. Like, it's so stupid. It's so fucking dumb.
I fucking know.
But it just goes to show that they don't actually care.
No,
like,
they don't.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they cared at one point, but like they don't really. Like at the end of the day, like it's way more about just like seeing these democratic fucking politicians you don't like killed or so whatever they want.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. But resident whack job and fucking awful person Alex Jones claimed to be in contact with Q because of course he did.
Yeah.
Because like that's exactly what Alex Jones would say. And Alex Jones he would push like New World Order conspiracies for years up until Q came around. Like, I mean, he was talking New World Order shit like back in fucking 2001, like when 9/11 happened and shit. Like, Jesus. Yeah, Alex Jones sucks.
He does suck.
I don't know. Honestly, doing an episode on Alex Jones would be good and that's another person that like you can write fucking books on that dude. Yeah.
Oh my god. Man's insane.
There's a fun podcast called Knowledge Fight. It's like a play on InfoWars, which is Alex Jones' show.
Oh, that's funny.
And they just like, it's these two guys, and one of them just like goes through and just like debunks every single thing that Alex Jones says. And then the other guy doesn't, he just like learns about it. Which is a little unfair of a balance in your podcast. Like one person does all the research and the other one just listens.
Just chills.
But I don't know if it works for them. But yeah, check out that podcast. Anyway, the large turnout of QAnon believers in July of 2018 for a midterm Trump rally in Tampa was kind of the spark of Q's entrance into the mainstream media. That's kind of when I feel like it was around that time, like 2018, when like you started to see more like big news outlets like report on Q, and it wasn't like this weird fringe thing that like somebody's fucking uncle got into or something, like, you know.
Exactly.
So it's like I feel like I've known like weird dudes who are like into wild conspiracies all like my whole life. But that's when it was like people were like, maybe this is like bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm gonna pause here and talk a little bit about what Q actually believes, which this part's also a little tricky because it's not like there's like a set book of rules or like of like beliefs for QAnon,
Yeah.
Every single person is going to have like weird shit that they've brought in from their own thoughts. And that's what's so wild about it being like a decentralized cult is that you can really put whatever the fuck you want in there and start believing it. So as I mentioned, nobody in Q really believes the same thing. It's a take your pick kind of cult with hundreds of little factions across the internet. Some believe that the earth is flat, some believe in the Illuminati, but mainly what they all believe is that most politicians in America, and as well as celebrities in Hollywood and everything, are part of this baby-eating Satanist cabal, and Donald Trump is the savior sent to drain the swamp, as they put it. And they believe when that happens, the day of the storm, many of like the Satanist politicians would be executed and put in prison, and the U.S. military would violently retake the country from like the evil politicians.
Right.
Which sounds like fascism to me.
Yeah, pretty much.
But and we've talked about this before, but it's like there is legitimately sex trafficking that is happening by the elites, like fucking elites. Jeffrey Epstein.
Yep.
And Donald Trump and fucking even Bill Clinton.
There is Democrats that are part of a pedophile ring. That's real. That is real. However, they're not eating babies and they don't live in a pizza shop. Exactly.
Like it's like right under their nose, but they still can't fucking see it. And it's so
frustrating because I feel like if you would have just been looking at the actual real pedophile ring, we maybe could have gotten a little bit further with it.
Exactly.
But everyone was like, look over here at this crazy thing. And then the actual real pedophile ring continues and goes unnoticed.
Exactly. Nobody who was associated with Jeffrey Epstein, other than the Maxwell, whatever the fuck.
Ghislaine, yeah.
Yeah, Ghislaine, maybe. But like Donald Trump, everybody else who fucking rode and didn't have shit happen to them. Yeah. It's frustrating.
It is.
But the real cherry on top of the Insanity Sunday is that they got all of this knowledge from an anonymous image board on the internet. And again, I just can't stress this enough that it's an anonymous image board on the internet. Like, you can say anything on the internet.
People lie all the time.
People lie so much. Like, you ever watch Catfish? Like,
exactly.
Jesus, yeah.
This is like the Catfish of like conspiracy theories.
Jesus,
or something.
Honestly, like, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of these people, like 5 to 10 years ago, would have been those like parents that would be like, "Don't believe everything you read on the internet."
No, it is.
And now they're believing literally everything they read on the internet.
It literally is.
It's insane.
I know.
We'll take another break to read you some shit.
Good.
So this is some of the false or baseless claims or unsubstantiated claims that QAnon has made. They claim that the CIA installed North Korean leader Kim Jong-un as a puppet ruler. So,
okay,
good. Let's see here. A March 1st, 2018, there was an apparent suggestion that German Chancellor Angela Merkel is Adolf Hitler's granddaughter. So that was mentioned.
Oh my God.
A July 7th, 2018 Daily Beast article noted that Q falsely claimed that each mass shooting is a false flag attack organized by the cabal.
Okay, God damn it.
Which is very, just so good. The Sandy Hook parents, that was a
oh my God,
that didn't actually happen. You're faking it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
It's just so awful.
Yeah, didn't they have a whole thing where they were saying that the kids from the Parkland thing were like actors or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck you so much.
Fuck you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, that's their shtick.
Jesus Christ.
It's so bad. That Obama, Hillary Clinton, George Soros, and others are planning a coup against Trump and are involved in an international child sex trafficking ring.
Right.
Kind of the ones we have. But yeah, they think that they're like all scheming against Trump, which like maybe, but like not for like a coup. Like they just don't want him to be president anymore. Like, I don't know. That the Mueller investigation is actually a counter coup led by Trump, who pretended to conspire with Russia in order to hire Mueller to secretly investigate the Democrats. Let me run that by you again.
You guys.
So that the Mueller investigation, which was like the one where he was investigating Trump, was actually a counter coup led by Trump
Himself, yeah.
Who pretended to conspire with Russia in the investigation in order to hire Mueller to secretly investigate the Democrats. So he was like, hey, Mueller, so write this report about me that I'm conspiring with Russia so that you can then investigate the Democrats.
It's like, what? How do you come to that conclusion?
How do you get there?
What like clues did you find that made you think that?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew. But that's like, and I'll get into this more, I think, in the next episode, but like, I don't know, what do they call that? Like the sunk cost fallacy, where like you've put so much time or money into something that like you're just gonna like keep
exactly.
It's the same with like all the doomsday cults that like it doesn't, the world doesn't end like 30 times, but there's still like this next time, dude.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. It's like none of these things come true, but like the QAnon followers are like, oh, but you know what? It's all part of the plan. You just gotta follow the plan or whatever.
That was actually a red herring, and the real thing is gonna be happening on this day.
Exactly. And then, of course, the classic one that the Rothschild family leads a satanic cult. Oh, yeah. Similar political allegations and rumors have circulated since the 1970s because Semitism, and it never changes. So
nope.
We're just stuck in a perpetual loop of shitty things.
I love it.
It's good. It's all good. Good stuff.
I'm having fun.
I'm having a good time. So the Q drops have progressively gotten more and more vague as time has passed, creating a sort of like choose your own adventure conspiracy theory for the Q followers. When a sentence can mean everything, it can be applied to anything.
Right.
So. Exactly
like you were saying with the fucking like what the questions that they asked during auditing. It's like this
exactly.
shit can just you can just be like, yep, that makes sense.
Well, and yeah, it's just it's so frustrating. And it's the same with like people who do like cold readings, like psychics who do cold readings. Yes. It's like they're like, I'm seeing blue, I'm seeing water, and then they're like, oh, I fell.
My mother loved the sea.
Exactly, like or whatever it is, It's like, yeah, a lot of people do. Like, it's
exactly.
I don't know. Between March and June of 2020, QAnon activity nearly doubled on Instagram and tripled on Facebook. So, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
It is spread all over Europe and Latin America, with a specifically strong following among the far right in Germany. The place that has never had an issue with the far right ever before.
Yikes.
Never had a problem there. Yeah, so QAnon bringing back the Nazis, basically.
No.
There's this part is interesting. I thought you would like this. There's this really weird like branch of QAnon that they call Pastel Q or Pastel QAnon.
Okay.
Which uses pastel color schemes predominantly.
Cute.
And like aims predominantly at women and like the wellness community. So it's like another weird cross section of like new age spirituality and like alt-right Trumpism.
Yep.
But yeah, they call it like pastel, and it's like it got really big on TikTok apparently because aesthetics and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
oh god.
But I just thought it was
pastel Q.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like pastel goth, but pastel Q.
Exactly. Oh god. Yeah, it's very strange. Another side group is the good old Miracle Mineral Solution drinkers, which I think I was telling you about a little bit the other day, but AKA industrial bleach drinkers.
Oh. That's the Miracle Mineral.
Yeah.
Just bleach.
Just actual bleach.
I see.
So fringe groups of cultists and anti-modern medicine users began drinking MMS, as they call it in the biz, back in the early 2000s, promoting it as a cure for autism, AIDS, hepatitis, flu, and most recently, COVID-19.
Yep.
This stuff is insane, like how far this goes back of people just like trying to push this, literally drinking bleach.
Just drink bleach.
Just drink some bleach.
You'll be fine.
Obviously this is terrible for anybody, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's particularly evil when it's given to a non-consenting child.
Yeah.
Which of course they do because they think that it's gonna cure everything.
Oh my God.
And especially, this is a little bit of a side tangent, but especially when it's given to kids with like autism, who in a lot of cases can't even say that they're in pain.
Yeah,
you know,
if you're like nonverbal.
if you're nonverbal.
And the other thing is that like autism doesn't need to be cured.
Yeah, it's not.
Like it's not a problem. It's just a part of life. Like I don't.
People live long and fulfilling
Yes.
lives with autism.
Yes.
It's not an issue.
No.
And yeah, but
so evil.
it goes back far into like the just the whole like anti-vax, like
Right.
vaccinations give you autism, blah 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 blah.
Right. Yeah. True.
Yeah. But yeah, so when I saw that pop up, I was kind of shook. I was like, oh, but I'm also not shook. I'm also like,
I mean, yeah.
of course they would think it would cure COVID.
Exactly. You know? Well, literally, Donald Trump went on fucking TV and was like, "Inject bleach into your veins, y'all."
Yes,
He
and
did say that.
he did say that, and that was a big thing for them. They were like, look, the president fucking endorses MMS or whatever,
God.
and oh my God,
I know.
I'm losing it, but
I know.
I literally can't believe that. Like, because their defense was like, oh, Donald Trump was thinking out loud when he said that.
I know.
And I'm like,
oh my God.
but why would you think injecting disinfectant into yourself? Why would you even think that?
Oh my God. And why would you be thinking out loud on national TV when you're like announcing something about a fucking virus that's killing half of the
Exactly.
nation?
Exactly.
Maybe that's when you're not going to think out loud. Maybe that's not the time
Maybe
to do
you
that.
shouldn't. You said that out loud on TV for people to hear you. Like,
when you know, sorry, I gotta fucking calm down. When you know that like you have like these undying followers for you who will like no matter what you say, they're like, "Yep."
exactly. And we'll get a little bit more into how good old Donald, our boy Don, has handled a little bit of the QAnon stuff.
Yeah.
Last thing to go over before we probably call it an episode,
Snip it off.
get ready for our next episode. So in 2020, many Q followers began using the hashtag Save the Children and Save Our Children, which did cause an outrage from the actual Save Our Children Foundation, or Save the Children Foundation. Facebook and Instagram had to begin redirecting search results away from Q and to the legit organization because... And, you know, I don't know anything about Save the Children. Like, I don't know if they're, like, a good organization by any means. But
Right.
I feel like, of the two, I would rather them get the search results than QAnon, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, so there was, like, this big kind of, like, thing because they were being overshadowed by the actual... or they were overshadowing the actual established charity
Right.
that was set up. And weirdly enough... I did kind of see a few things on this, but so QAnoners also created like a weird new conspiracy around the same time that accused Wayfair, the furniture company,
That's right.
of helping transport child trafficking victims.
Yep.
And this one, I didn't quite know if it was like more played for laughs or if it was like legit. I'm sure some people legitimately believed
Some people
it
legit
for sure.
believed it.
For sure, but like... Because I saw some of the original like TikToks and posts about it, and it was like this girl went missing, and then like then it cuts to like, and Wayfair's selling this piece of furniture with the exact same name. And then, you know, there was TikToks that were like, I'm not missing. I don't know who made this. Like, I'm not
missing.
like I'm present, but some shit like that. But yeah, so it's like somehow this weird shit got Wayfair wrapped up in it, and it's it's just the most wild shit you could ever think. Like, who would do that? Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm losing my mind actively on the podcast.
Same.
But yeah, so that's where we're going to call it for QAnon. Next time, we'll get into a little bit more of the Q up through modern day, if you will. But yeah, no, we're officially insane, y'all. Lost our marbles.
Lost it all. Come for the ranting, stay for the mental instability.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
One of our old taglines. It was in there like somewhere a while ago. I
feel like it's been in there for a while. Like, can they keep their sanity?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's in our like description still. I don't know, but yeah. So that's QAnon. That's Scientology Part 1. Yeah,
I don't think I have a mind anymore. I've lost it.
I can't think. I can't
lost it all.
Sleep. I can't
sleep.
I can't function as
breathe.
A human anymore. Yeah. But yeah, I think we're gonna call it. Head to the P zone.
Let's do
some plugs.
Let's do it. Let's plug-a-roo.
Take it away.
So for our shout out game, my mommy commented.
Aww.
And she said, I have so enjoyed Cult Month. Can't wait to dive into the latest. Thanks, Mommy.
Oh, cute.
Which was on our Instagram, which is @Remarks Podcast. You can also check out our TikTok that I'm sorry, I'm failing at the TikTok, y'all, but that's also @Remarks Podcast. Yeah.
And I run the Twitter account @RemarksPod. And also leave us a review on Apple Podcasts,
yes,
please.
Please.
Rate and review. It helps us with some kind of algorithm, I'm sure. And then you can subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want. It's called The Lefty Agenda.
It's good shit.
Just put out a video on Focus on the Family, which is also kind of a cult.
Kind of a cult, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, we will be doing a part 2 of this, which will be released. Are we thinking Wednesday?
I'm pretty sure Wednesday, yeah.
Word.
Be a good little gap.
Yeah.
Keep you on your toes.
Little bonus episode for Cult Month because it's just too much. There's
so
too
much to talk about. Yeah. I mean, we're already going like an hour and a half.
Fuck.
So like, and both of us got like maybe halfway through our notes. But
well, thanks for listening.
Kayla, love you. Bye.